Hi, students. Mr. Kaczynski with you here. We're going to do lesson 5.4 from our textbooks here, which is solving linear systems using elimination, another algebraic method. Okay, so we've got a system like this. Both equations are written in standard form. I'll just get right to it here. Here's the trick. All we got to do in this particular case is add these two equations together. Watch what I mean. Negative x plus x is nothing. It's 0x. So they just eliminate. 2y plus 6y is 8y. And negative 8 plus negative 16 is negative 24. So by adding these two equations together, we've created this new equation that only has one variable, y. We got rid of the x. And we can solve it very easily by dividing both sides by 8. And now we already know the y value of these two equations, where they cross. So it's just quick and easy. We've got the y value. We do need the x value still, and we can use either one of these equations. I think I'll use the first equation. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to do x, or I'm sorry, the second equation, plus 6 times negative 3. That's our y value, equals negative 16. And I'm going to solve that. So this would be x minus 18 equals negative 16 when you do 6 times negative 3. Then I'll add 18 to both sides, and I get 2. And boom, we've got our answer, which is 2 for x and negative 3 for y. Pretty simple, right? We'll do it a few more times. All right, so let's go over here to our calculator. Let's check our answer. So our original equation was negative x. So let's do negative x, which is 2, plus 2 times y. Y is negative 3. We'll hit enter, and this should equal negative 8. It does. And then our second equation is x, which is 2, plus 6y, which is negative 3. And this should equal negative 16. It does. Okay, so we know we've got the right answer. Another way we can check answers is graphing them. Probably the easiest way to graph them is to use Desmos.com, since they're in standard form. So I went to Desmos, I put the two equations in, and let's see, let's shrink that, move this over, and you can see that's not right. What did I mess up? Negative x plus 2y equals, how about this? Negative 8. There we go. And then x plus 6y equals negative 16. All right, let's shrink that, go over here, and where do they cross? At 2, negative 3. We could turn them both into intercept form, and then graph them on our calculators too, to check without decimals. That's what we'd have to do, I guess, but trying to use a shortcut. All right, let's do another. Oh, see, now this one, if I add them together, nothing cancels out, because over here we got lucky, like x and negative x were opposites. So they just added up to 0. But over here, that's not the case. However, I'm thinking, like, if I double this negative 4y, I'd have negative 8y and 8y, right? So if I double that, then I could cancel them out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to multiply this by 2. I'm going to multiply the entire equation by 2. I can't just multiply one thing. I have to multiply everything by 2. So this is going to be what? 10x minus 8y equals 6. So I just doubled everything. That's the same equation. In fact, maybe I'll show you. Let's see, the first equation, 5x minus 4y equals 3. And then the second equation that I just wrote in blue, 10x minus 8y equals 6. They're the same equation, right? Okay, so let's get back after it here. The second equation, I'm not going to alter at all. I'm just going to make that 2x. I'm just going to rewrite it here so that I've got them lined up on top of each other, the way I like to do it. Then I'm going to add these two equations together. Let's see, so that right here, these eliminate. Negative 8y plus 8y is 0. Then we get the 10x plus 2x is 12x. And 6 plus negative 2 is 4. Ooh. And then I get x equals 4 divided by 12, which is 1/3. Oops, get back there. All right, so let's check that. 4 divided by 12, math, enter, enter. There you go, it's 1/3. Did I do everything right here? Because that seems like an ugly number, but that's okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Multiplied everything on top by 2. Added everything on the bottom. Okay, yeah, good. All right. Here we go. Now we can take this 1/3 and plug it into either equation. It doesn't really, I don't see any benefit to one or the other here. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to take the bottom equation here. I'm going to do 2 times x, which is 1/3, plus 8y equals -2. All right, do a little multiplication. 2 times 1/3 is 2/3, plus 8y. I think I'm gonna turn this into -6/3 right now. At -2, I'm gonna turn it into -6/3 because my next thing is I'm going to subtract 2/3 from both sides anyway, so I'm gonna need common denominator, so that's what I did here. All right, now I'm gonna subtract 2/3 from both sides. I'll show that here. All right, so that's gonna give me 8y equals -8/3. Okay, and then to get rid of this 8, I'm going to multiply by 1/8 with 1/8, which is the same as dividing by 8. And the reason I'm doing that is because I got a fraction over here. I don't like dividing a fraction by another number. I like multiplying a fraction by a fraction. And dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So there, the 8's cancel out. Okay, just like here, these canceled out. All right, what's that leave us with? Y equals, well, let's see, these 8's cancel out. So I think we just end up with -1/3. Woo! All right, so we got our answer here. We got 1/3 for x, and we got -1/3 for y. I think that's my answer. I'm definitely want to check this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my first equation, 5 times x, 1/3, minus 4 times y, -1/3. And that is 3. Hey, good, that works in the first equation. 2, second equation here, 2 times x, 1/3, plus 8 times y, which is -1/3. And that is -2. We got it. We got the right answer. For sake of time, I'm not going to graph these. I'm going to move on to the next one here. All right. We got issues here because when we do elimination method, we want the equations in standard form, and neither one, well, yeah, the bottom equation's in standard form, but the top equation isn't. So I'm just going to take this equation and I'm going to add 6y to both sides and just rewrite it like this. 3x plus 6y equals 12. Okay, so now I got that in standard form. And then I'm looking at this bottom equation and there's nothing that's gonna like cancel out if I add them together. However, if I take this and I multiply it by 3, see, I'll have a 3x here and I'll have a -3x here, and then those would eliminate each other. Elimination method, right? All right, so let's do that. -x times 3 is -3x. That's what I wanted. Okay, 3y times 3 is 9y. And 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, so we multiplied everything by 3. And we also rewrote the first equation by in standard form by adding 6y to both sides. A lot going on here, right? So it's not as easy as the first one all the time. All right, those will cancel out when we add these two equations together. Then I've got my 15y here, 6y plus 9y, and 30 here. So y is 2, right? Divide both sides by 15, you get y is 2. So now we got our y. We just got to figure out our x. I think I'm going to use the top equation here. I'm going to take this equation and it's really close to having x by itself. You can use either equation, it doesn't matter. So let's do this. 3x equals -6 times y, which is 2, plus 12. So if we just do a little multiplication, -12 plus 12, and then we add, that's 0. Divide both sides by 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0. And we got our answer, I think. I mean, I'm definitely going to check it. So we got x is 0 and y is -2. Let's check it out. Let's go over here to the calculator. Let's do 3 times x. Well, we know that's 0. And then on the right side, -6 times y plus 12. That's 0. No. Oh, because it's not -2. Let's try that out again. I don't want to plug -2 in there. I just want to plug 2 in there. Okay, so yeah, 0 equals 0. All right, and then the bottom equation, -x, -0. It's kind of silly that I did that, but whatever. Plus 3 times y, which is -2. Oh, that's my issue, is that I wrote -2 here. And it's really +2 right there. Okay. I did it right there. Okay, so let's get rid of that negative. And this should equal 6. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I've got the right answer. Okay, so it works. That 0.02 works in both equations. You can graph it if you want. All right, so why don't you guys try this here? In fact, you can try one or both of these. Pause the video, give it a shot. If you get stuck, you can start the video. But I'm going to start doing them right now. But I want you to pause it and try it yourself, okay? Pause. Okay, you've completed the problem. Now I'm back. I'm going to do it. So with this, it's nice because these are opposites. They just add up to 0. Great. 11x plus -5x is 6x. 1 plus -7 is -6. So I can quickly see that x is -1. Now I just got to figure out what y is. So I think I'll take this top equation and I'll do 11 times x, -1, plus 3y equals 1. That's -11 plus 3y equals 1. Add 11 to both sides, I get 12 over here, and divide both sides by 3, and I get 4. So looks like my answer is -1 for x and 4 for y. I'm definitely going to check this before I box it in. So let's see, 11 times x plus 3 times y. This should equal 1. Good. -5 times x minus 3 times y. And this should equal -7. Boom, got it. All right, if you didn't try the second one, why don't you try it now? Pause. Okay, you tried it. Here we go. See, these are not in standard form, so I think I'm going to rewrite them in standard form. Let's go. 2u minus 4v equals 8. And -5u plus 3v equals -13. So I rewrote them both in standard form, and still like nothing cancels from each other. So I got to keep going here. How about oof, and really you got to like change both equations, don't you? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add myself another spot here. Let's do this. Let's multiply this by 3, and if we multiply this by by 4, then I'll have -12v and +12v, and those will cancel each other out. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So let's do 6u minus 12v equals 24. multiplied everything by 3. And on the bottom, multiply everything by 4. So negative 20u plus 12v equals negative 52. There we go. All right, so when we add these two equations, boom, the v's are gone. Elimination method. 6u plus negative 20u is negative 14u. 24 plus negative 52, 24 plus negative 52, I don't feel like doing mental math, is negative 28. Divide both sides by negative 14. U is 2. U are 2. U is 2. All right, now I got to figure out V. I can put this U value in like literally anywhere I want. I think I'm going to come over here and put it into this equation. So I'm going to go 3V equals 5 times U minus 13. All right, so that's 3V equals 10 minus 13. 3V equals negative 3. So V equals negative 1. All right, do we have our answer? You know what? I mean, technically, you do it by alphabetical order. So it would be like U would be the first one and V would be the second value, but whatever. Let's check it out. Go to the original equations. 2 times U, which is 2. That's this much. And then the right, I want that to be the same thing. 4 times V, negative 1, plus 8. That's 4. Okay, 4 equals 4. Great. On the bottom equation, 3 times V, negative 1. And then on the right, 5U, just 2, minus 13. There we go. Also a negative 3. So the left and right side of the equation equal each other for both of these. So we got it. There we go. All right. Let's do a little story problem here. A landscape designer uses 2 types of gravel for walkways. The larger gravel weighs an average of 40 pounds per cubic foot, and the smaller weighs an average of 48 pounds per cubic foot. In his truck, the designer has a 12 cubic foot load of gravel that weighs 520 pounds. Okay, wow. How many cubic feet of each type? Okay, this is a linear system. So we've got the amount of cubic feet and we've got the weight. Okay, so Mrs. Kraft wants in, but I'm not letting her in. All right, so here we go. Let's write our linear system here. How about 48 pounds? Okay, 12 cubic feet. So we got the large and the small together, which is 48 cubic feet. And then we've got the weight. Okay, well, the large weighs 40 pounds per cubic foot, and the small weighs 48 pounds per cubic foot. That might seem weird, but if it's smaller, like it fits in a more compact area, thus it's going to weigh more. It's going to be more dense. And together, that's 520 pounds. There we go. So there's our linear system. So if we just take this top equation maybe and multiply it by what, like negative 40, then I'll have negative 40L and positive 40L. So we'll have like negative 40L minus 40S equals 48 times negative 40 is negative 1920. Okay. And then this bottom equation, I'm not going to change anything about it. 40L plus 48S equals 520. Really wanted all this to be blue, but I'm not going to bother rewriting it now. Okay, when we add those two equations together, the L's cancel. All right, negative 40S plus 48S is 8S. Negative 1920 plus 520 is negative 1400. Oops. Sorry, let's try that again. Negative 1400. And negative 1400 divided by 8 is negative 1. What? Something went wrong, right? Can't have a negative cubic footage. What did we do wrong here? 40 pounds per cubic foot, and the smaller weight's 48. And this truck 12, oh, it's 12 cubic foot load, not 48. There's my mistake. Okay, so let's go fix some stuff here. This is not 48. This is not going to be that. And this is not going to be that amount. Okay, so let's fix this. This is 12 cubic feet. There we go. So if we do 12 times negative 40, we get negative 480. Okay, we still get the 8s. This is going to be positive 40 instead. And obviously 40 divided by 8 is 5. So we have 5 cubic feet of the small. So we'll just go 5 cubic feet of the small. And then the large is obviously going to be 7 cubic feet, right? And that'll be our answer. There we go. 7 plus 5 being 12. And we can check it in the second here. 40 times the large, 7, plus 48 times the small, 5, and this should be 520 pounds. It is. Okay, there's one more problem. I'm not going to do it on the video. What I'm going to do is have you try it on your own, and I've got the answer on a sticky note on my desk, and you can just come see it. All right. Good luck. Try the practice.